Hello, my name is Brenton Lovato, and I am a geospatial technologist at SF State's Capital Planning, Design, and Construction. And today I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on what Autodesk InfraWorks is and what it's capable of. So I'll begin by just clicking on the application. The first window that comes up shows your projects that you have open, if you have any. If you don't, then you can go ahead and click New Model, and then you can begin with a clear slate. I'm going to go ahead and open up the SF State model that I've been working on. So Autodesk InfraWorks is a 3D visualization software used to visualize geospatial information. So in this file, we've taken existing GIS data from our 2D GIS database, which includes our buildings as well as our land cover and our trees, which you can see once I zoom in. So the tree types and tree heights are accurate to what we have included in the attribute fields in ArcGIS. So this model is built upon the terrain surface, so everything starts, so an InfraWorks model starts with, you have to import a terrain surface, and then everything in the model is draped upon that surface. This environment is capable of housing any type of spatial data as long as it's in the same projection as all the rest of your data, so it knows where to be in this 3D environment. There's many types of data sources that are capable of coming into here. Autodesk organizes it pretty well, and so they have this data source tab right here where you can import and configure data. You can see with this project we have buildings, we have city furniture, which are basically just small models like telephone poles or fire hydrants. We have coverage areas, which is the land cover, like the baseball field or the soccer field down here, and roads and concrete areas. And we also have ground imagery, which is just satellite imagery, high-resolution satellite imagery, which you can find on USGS or other places if you have air photos. And then in this model we have pipelines as well, which are underground, so they lie beneath the surface of the terrain. And it's a really good visualization of these pipelines because in most cases they're just in 2D and in an obscure CAD format. That makes it hard to understand where they are in relation to the rest of your campus. But this software really allows you to see where they are and where they sit beneath the surface and how they interact with buildings and the environment. We also have our terrain, which I mentioned earlier, and that is from USGS also. We're fortunate enough to have a LiDAR data in this area, so we're able to convert that into a surface. But if you also, throughout the nation, you're able to find a terrain model from USGS also, because they host that, and I believe it's pretty accurate. So you can find that online as well. And then again, we have trees, which is another category, and that all these trees came straight out of our GIS tree database. So, and if you want to import a new model, you just simply go to this icon right here, and you can choose what file type it is. And so you can upload a shapefile or a raster or a point cloud or any Autodesk 3D file. So I'll go ahead and import a shapefile real fast so I can show you what happens. So I'll go ahead and import storm drain points, which is just vector points on the storm drain network. So I'll load it in, and then you'll see it's up here with no feature type. So in order to configure a file, you double click on it, and then it comes up with a configuration page. It usually doesn't take too long, but with larger files it takes a minute. So here's the data source configuration page. You'll see it has the name of the file, the data type, so it's a vector versus a raster and so forth. And so you set the type because you want to say what category it fits into within the model so it knows how to interact with it. So I'm just going to say it's point of interest for right now. even though it is supposed to be, it's part of the pipeline network. I'm just going to say pointer just because I'm importing just a point file. And then you can change the name to any of the records in the attribute table from ArcGIS. So in this name can just be simply, like, I'll just say date because I don't have a name for this file. And you can describe it by whatever attribute table you have that describes it. I'll just say flow. These are optional, but I'm just going to set that for now. And then the rule style is this area right here, and that's what styles it and gives it the 3D look and display. You're able to pick different pins, but you're also able to go through many models that the InfraWorks has installed already. And you can also import your own models if you have a 3D pin you want to use that looks a certain way. I'm just going to go ahead and do people to show what it's capable of. Do standing man. I'll go. So this is the geolocation tab. It just says that it's in the right coordinate system that I want it in. And then the source, I want it to drape on surface. This is important because if you don't drape it, then it'll just be somewhere off in your model. And there's also a tooltip tab, which allows you, I'll show you that in a minute, but that allows you to hover your mouse over the model, and then you can click on a link to another place, and also like to a website, and also displays information about the object that you're hovering over. This table is just the properties window of the data that I just imported. And then lastly, there's a script, which you can use JavaScript to write all of this information that you can select from these windows. So if I close and refresh, then it will load this file. It's not in the right spatial reference, but that should be okay. Yeah, so if I zoom in, everywhere where there's a point in ArcGIS, you'll now see a man standing there. And this is just for visualization purposes. If I turn down the opacity of the surface, you can see that all the men are standing right on top of the storm drain network. Right there, guy right there at each junction of the storm drain. So that's just displaying different valves and inlets, storm drain inlets on this network. So the other good part about using Autodesk InfraWorks is that you're able to combine Autodesk CAD drawings and also ArcGIS shapefiles, which has been historically a difficult process. But this, since it's built by Autodesk and it allows for shapefiles, which is an Esri format, you're able to merge the two in a very visually pleasing 3D environment. So another feature is I'm able to display a floor plan, which is this floor plan I have here. It's the first, second, third, and fourth floors of this building here. And if I hover over it, you can see what floor plan, what line type it is. It's a wall right there. And also I can have links to our facilities information system. It's a website, and also a direct link straight to the floor plan, which is hosted on the web. So you can see right there that I got a link straight to the floor plan that I was just looking at. So yeah, that's basically an overview of all the features of Autodesk InfraWorks.